which is a film that I made with my family. Actually, everybody in the movie is a family member in one way or another because it's all my cousins. My wife's cousins are involved, and my cousins' wives and are all involved as well. My wife is involved. Everybody, almost everybody in my family is involved in this movie, and I don't think outside of that, I don't think anyone in the film is in family. So it's a family film, and they were crazy enough to join me on the journey to do it, which I'm super grateful for. It was a completely zero budget film. If it all goes well and people really like this film, one of my goals is definitely to have a large budget for the next one so we can finance it, and then all the actors and whoever extra crew members can get paid. It's one of the other things. I had to do this all on my own. I'm doing the music, the effects, the sound effects, the editing. I had to do all the filming, all the lighting, all that stuff. Pretty much so, because again, it was a zero budget project, had zero funding for it. Today I'm going to show you how I am putting a lot of this stuff together. So one of the things that I used in the film, actually what I primarily use, there's two primary softwares that I use, which are Camtrack AR and Skyglass. Camtrack AR is it's an iPhone application. That's the other thing, by the way. I shot the whole thing on my iPhone 14 Pro, which has an amazing camera, and using Camtrack AR, which enables real-time capture of with the iPhone. You're capturing footage in real time, but it's also capturing 3D environment information that you can then transfer to Unreal Engine. You can pick any of your environments that you want in Unreal Engine, and then basically from there you can marry the footage with that Unreal Engine background. You have to do all the keying and all that stuff, which I'm going to show you right now. And once all that stuff is put together, you have a pretty nice looking image. You have your subjects against the green screen, and once it's keyed on, stuff like that with the background. And then what happens is that this allows you to do all these movements without having to do any manual tracking or any motion tracking in After Effects, which is what I did for the first film. The first film I shot, it was a much shorter. This film, Cobrazilla, it's going to come in around an hour long. So it was supposed to be a 10-minute short film, and I don't know how I got to an hour. But and the first one was around at 9 minutes. And that one I shot it on a Blackmagic Pocket 4K. I had some really nice lenses for that one too that I shot it with, and I did use a green screen with some trackers on it. But it was a little problematic, and I did the whole thing in After Effects. I had no knowledge of Unreal Engine at the time. This is back in 2018, I believe. So it was one of those things where I was sort of, I don't want to say I was limited by the technology. And just give me a second. Let's grab something. I was limited by the technology, but now with all the new technology that's come out, it's pretty amazing what one can do, because we have all these tools now, like Camtrack AR, Skyglass. Skyglass is even better. I think the new version of Skyglass probably even works better than the previous versions. The thing with Skyglass is that I tried like the first iteration of it, so it was a little bit laggy. The backgrounds were a little bit laggy, so I had to do a couple of takes with that, and it came out when I was already almost done with the film. So I only used it in the last couple of scenes. Because again, it wasn't just available. I shot this movie over the course of almost a year. Yeah, almost a year, because we started initial filming in November with some pickup shots. I did some preliminary tests last year in June when I was developing the concept, but I didn't really start filming most of the footage until February, and then I captured it like that throughout the year. I had different filming dates. I think it was a total of, how many dates was it? I think it was like 5 or 6 days throughout the year, a couple hours each. And we're kind of in a rush again, because I was asking my family to do this as a favor. They wanted to be in the movie, but at the same time I was asking a lot. And so anyways, so the movie has really 3 major acts. The first act of the film is this whole Egyptian thing that's going on, and it's like this very dramatic thing.
This is for Princess Boutica, for all the years you resented her.
So if you look at this footage, for example, this is I can eliminate the background. This is all shot against green screen, and if I were to go into the actual footage of this, you can see that this is the actual how I captured it with and then cam track with cam track AR.
For all the years you resented her.
Right, and then what I basically did was I keyed that out, which you can see in this original version. I kind of zoomed it in as well, and I did some masking. There's a little bit I still have to work, clean up some of the masking there. So I basically created what is called the garbage mat, which it's basically I'm creating a masker on the subject, and everything else outside of these boundaries, it's you're never gonna see.
For all the years you resented.
And then that gives me a cleaner key. Don't have to worry about all this stuff that I'm not going to use. And then separately in Unreal Engine, I brought that information that I captured with Camtrack AR and this footage, and in Unreal Engine I loaded it in. I kind of set the camera where I wanted in Unreal Engine, which is nice because I can basically do location scouting within Unreal Engine. And I picked, okay, this is where I want the camera. I already got the angle, I already got the movement that was already captured by Camtrack AR. I just have to pick basically where to put the camera. And then I eventually have to then I marry these two. So I export that from Unreal Engine, bring it into here, and then you have
For
this.
Princess Boutica. For all the years you resented her.
And then of course you can do little tricks, like I think I put some LUTs on it and stuff. And I'm gonna go through this whole process of more of the post-production stuff, like adding like the lens flares, the LUTs. I'm basically using looks from Red Giant. I used to, so in my life as a professional video producer and motion graphics editor in the past, I was very, very detailed about how I would do all this stuff. I'd go into previously I used to use Premiere, After Effects, and DaVinci Resolve for color grading, especially I would say mostly towards the last year, and I would go really into the power windows and all that stuff. And nowadays, as much as I would love to do that, since this project I'm kind of trying to release it sort of in a rush next year, because I just don't want it to, because if not I would just go on forever. I'm using a lot of just tools that will make my life a lot easier. So I'm using Cosmo to soften the skin. So if we can see here, that's the skin like that. I'm using Cosmo. I'm using looks. And what I'm doing in looks is that I'm going in and I'm just modifying. So I'm taking like a starting point. I'm doing a lot of modifications after the fact. So it makes it so much easier. So let me just see if we have any comments or anything real quick. Do we have any comments now? It's making it so much easier for me just to go through the whole thing without having to go to too crazy and spending too much time with it. So that's how I plan to tackle most of the film, and the important thing in this kind of stuff is just picking a really good starting point. So let me see. So we have this footage here, and this movie has a lot of effect. It has a lot of drama, has a lot of effects. We have a lot of crazy stuff going on here. So let me just show you this real quick. I'm showing it at half res just so. So let me actually show you that. This is kind of intense scene. So I'm using like a lot of effects, like liquify for that kind of stuff. It's pretty intense. The movie does have its little bit of a violent parts, but so this is so basically what I want to do in this series. This is more kind of an overview of what I'm going to be covering, because I haven't finished the movie yet, which is it's scary for me, but at the same time I decided very late in the game to want to do live streaming for all this stuff. So which is kind of fun, because now you guys get to see the process and I get to document this. So for example, I added a lot of, something like this, I added a lot of blood effects here. So I'm going to be showing how I do some of these sort of very simple effects, and there's ways to comp these better, especially if you're in Premiere with color and stuff. So yeah, that sort of thing. But basically what I want to do in the series is show that you can, especially if you're young, I'm in my mid to late 30s actually, but at any age with the technology nowadays, you can just, with your family or friends, you can make a pretty, no, I don't want to say like a Netflix or something that's going to be on a major streaming platform, but you can make a pretty fun and pretty convincing short film nowadays. Now, again, we're at, like, you can see all this footage. This is not even half the movie. A lot of the other stuff I'm gonna show in the movie is gonna be sort of this stuff. So let me actually go into one of these projects here and show you some of the other stuff that I've been working on as well. So again, if you guys have any questions on this so far, I can answer it eventually. If not in this, I don't know if anyone's watching this live, but this is also in the comment section. You can ask away. So these are some of the shots too. So I have a lot of. Let me show you some of these shots that we worked on. See if you can hear the. So we have some like exaggerated.
I got this.
Exaggerated flying scenes here, and then like.
Mad dog! I'm going down. I gotta eject. Woo!
So a lot of, and there's no sound effects at all for this. I haven't even written the music either. I haven't processed the voices too either. So we can get the that sort of a radio kind of voice. So
it's close.
This is very sort of raw. This is like more of the stages of me just assembling footage. So again, for this is the same thing I used for this. Actually, for this I filmed it right here in front of my closet with a green screen in the back, and I added a lot of motion in the back. These cables you see here, that's I added that in here in in After Effects. It's just some black strips. It's just to give the illusion that he's hanging from that. That is something I found on YouTube. I think it's like some free YouTube footage. And again, a lot of this is about being creative. Right? So for this shot, this is the same. I just kind of used 3D, and I'm gonna go more into this kind of stuff in other videos. But I use basic 3D to kind of like just pivot it a little bit, just like that, towards the Cobra. And then but the magic of this is really just having to marrying all this stuff
you can't
to make it
see
look
me
convincing,
to still, right?
to fool the viewer.
Mad dog! No!
Then this footage, that's my brother. We shot this using sky glass actually at his house in his room with basically just the lighting in his room. While we just again against a closet. We used the I think it's the AI. It has like an AI thing where you don't even need a green screen, because I don't remember using green screen for this. Yeah, no, we used the AI feature in Sky Glass where it just kind of detects the person, like the boundaries and stuff. And I think you can tweak it. I think I tweaked it a little bit, and I got a great key out of it, and we just used that.
A dog is down, sir.
I never told him I love.
So we have a lot of.
Shot Raptor, shoot the J!
You darn bastard! You're going down.
So that's not my music. That's music from, I think, the movie Rampage. So let me actually mute that just in case. That was just me for reference, So we have the pilot shooting, and we have all this stuff, and then I don't want to give too much away, but the pilot also. So we have a lot of that. And this movie just goes on and on and on, and then we have all this stuff here, and then we have a cruise ship scene. And I can quickly just show you more footage. It's a very, very long project. Again, I don't know how everyone kind of signed up for this to do it, but let me see if I have any more. I don't have any more. Maybe I can just open the same project and show you. But again, this first video is just an overview, just showing you like what I'm basically gonna be going over in these videos. I'm also going to be doing music sessions where I score. I'm going to show you how I scored the project, because I actually haven't scored. I think I've only scored like 2 scenes, and I still have most of it left. So I'm going to show you how I scored. I haven't done any of the sound effects. I mean, there's some temporary stuff in there, but that's not the final. So I'm going to show you the sound effects, how I do I put in all the sound effects and how I make those choices, as well as the final assembly and putting it together, and also how I sort of tackle issues in continuity issues using kind of B-roll and pickup shots and stuff like that, and it's just a lot of creative so these are most of the final shots that are done. There's a lot, but let me just show you So we have some White House scenes. We have a lot of this stuff. There's these the longest scenes in the film is the final sequence in the movie, which is run here. Let me see. Let me actually sort this by name. Let's see, ending sequence. I think it's titled ending. Yeah, right here. There's actually two parts to this. I'm gonna I'm gonna open up both, and yeah. So the ending sequence. Let me see. How long are the endings? Is the ending sequence of the movie? It's like almost 10 minutes long, but you can see this. If I scrub through, it's a lot of action. It's a lot of stuff going on here as well. We did like a little POV kind of action here, and him running with some. So it's a lot of craziness in this movie. There's the president's. This kind of like takes after ID for the
Take
president.
this, you slimy son of a bitch.
The president's helicopter pilot, and then
Oh, that was close.
so that still needs a little bit of work. I have to intensify that a little bit. We have some stuff going on here. The Cobra takes human form. Okay, we have our main actor sort of hanging on to the helicopter and being lifted. So that was fun. And then we have
Creed, I declare that it's suicide.
It's gotta be done, Humple Dump. Just let my family know I died for my city.
No, Creed. I will tell them how you lived.
we have insanely cheesy dialogue on purpose. We have it's a lot, and then so that's just the ending. It's not even most of the other parts of the movie. But again, I want to document all the series from now on, just showcasing like the process behind this, because mostly just to sort of inspire and just help out others who are probably trying to just do the same thing, who have limited resources, because again, we didn't have all the resources in the world to do this. I mean, I have Unreal Engine, Premiere, Adobe, but it was all shot in my living room, if I'm being honest.
I'll help distract that thing. You just make sure you kill it.
You know,
Don't worry, I'll kill that son of
it's
a
a very
bitch.
stylistic kind of choice for the movie. And these are CG legs, it's not even legs, and this is B-roll just to show him inside the helicopter. And then so anyways, that's all I wanted to do for today. I know it's sort of a short stream, but I'm gonna be so next Monday I'm going to be streaming a couple of hours of just me putting the footage together, me and Unreal Engine putting all this stuff together when I have more time. And if you guys have any questions on this, I'll be more than happy to answer. There's a lot of work that still needs to go into this project. There's a lot of but there's a lot of stuff that's done. So we have some White House scenes here that we've done, and we have a lot. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you have any other questions or anything for me, let me know. Anything you want to see in these streams, let me know, and I'll be posting. I'm gonna try to go live every day, if not every other day, or at least 2 to 3 times a week. We'll see how it goes.